Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending from where you're watching. This is Oscar, your host. For tonight's knockout is going to be a knockout in the K Championship by K Challenge. Knockout 4 in the F50. Starting procedure has already been given. With 10 sailors in, it's going to be a fairly quick knockout tonight. It's going to be 4 races with all sailors and then 1 medal race at the end with the top 4 only. And the winner of this knockout is going to get a place in the grand final happening in December. 30 seconds to go. So in the F50, well, we know this boat very well. We've used it several times in the game. Very fast boat. It's a multi-hull foiling boat. And the start is one of the different starts in the game, where it's going to be a reaching starboard start. And usually, well, what dictates the race is the one who reaches the first reaching mark and the first downwind gate. We usually have a better race than the others. 5 seconds to go. Boats are lining up. And looks like Alcalá is having a good start over here. He might be able to reach that mark first. And Alcalá gets that first mark. Pablo Bez decides to go on the left. And bonjour Lorenzo, nice to see you in the chat, hope you're doing well. As we see a penalty here between Sweet Sailor and Julie Fra. Alcalá taking the left mark, Pablo Bez, sorry that was Hawkeye, taking the left one. And so these boats are going to have one more upwind, one more downwind, another upwind, half a downwind, and then a reaching finish again. Each race is set to last about 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 6 minutes. And 4 of them before we go to the medal race. The K Championship was done in partnership with K Challenge. And we're going to have, I believe that's 20 challenges in total. So already had 4. Each challenge is going to give prizes to the top 3 finishing in the challenge. And the prices can vary between, goodies from the CLGP France team, from the K Challenge team, booster cards for the K Challenge that you can then swap them or exchange them with points that would allow you to get into some events, with some grand prizes as well that could invite you to some CLGP events. In the later stages of the competition. Alcalá and Hawkeye currently fighting for the lead. As Alcalá here will have right of way and takes his first place back from Hawkeye. And so what can I say so far? Well, we're going to have 4 French sailors in this final, 2 British sailors, 2 Japanese. We were supposed to have a third one, but I believe they were already busy with the Eastland World Championship playoffs that happened a few hours earlier. So it's 5 a.m. I believe in the morning for them. And that was Yuko qualifying in the semi-final of the Eastland World Championship. And we were also supposed to have 2 Spanish with Pablo Bez and Ramon. With obviously Sweet Sailor over here representing Sweden. Well, looks like the lead is still going to be fought between Alcalá and Hawkeye. Von Pigeon close by. But that as soon as Hawkeye attacks, we're gonna see what happens between him and Alcalá. As Alcalá decides to tack slightly over him, trying to put him in his wind shadow. And he is going slightly faster. There's going to be neck and neck between these two boats. Again, it's going to be 4 races with all players, and then the last race is going to be a medal race, so counting double with just the top 4. And the winner will go to the grand final, which has obviously bigger prizes. As a Hawkeye takes a penalty here for crossing paths with Alcalá, and a penalty in the F50 can be very costful because these boats go very fast, so any slowdown will affect your race, and that allows Von Pigeon and maybe Pablo Baez to sneak up. Alcalá rounding that mark first, followed by Von Pigeon, Pablo Baez, and Hawkeye. And congratulations to Alcalá for winning that first race. And behind looks like it's going to be a clear finish for FC Rich in 7, Breast Power in 8, Armorica 1 in 9, and Sweet Sailor closes the march in 10. There we have their ranking for race 1. And Alberto rooting for Kazuki. Well, Kazuki did arrive 6th in the first race, so he's starting with 6 points. As a reminder again, Alcalá was 1st, Von Pigeon was 2nd, Pablo Baez was 3rd, Hawkeye 4th, Julie Fra 5th, Kazuki 6th, FC Rich 7, Breast Power in 8, Armorica 1 in 9, Sweet Sailor in 10. As we have 35 seconds to go, you'll see the boats doing these back and forth between the start line and the edge of the course, or the sailing area. And that's just to build up the speed for when they cross the start line. You want to cross that start line at maximum velocity, and with the F50, well, that's how you do it. And looks like we had a good start by FC Rich over here, but FC Kazuki is also gaining some speed. And what a start from Kazuki that was, taking the lead at the first reaching mark. And told ya, said Alberto. And Kazuki still in the lead for that downwind gate, followed by FC Rich and Pablo Baez. So Pablo Baez did finish 3rd in the first race, but if he can keep up on that 2nd place, that's going to put him in a good spot. Again, it's only going to be 4 races before we head to the medal race, counting double, and only the top 4 get into that medal race. And well, Pablo Baez is deciding to stay on the right over here, while Kazuki is all the way on the left. And it looks like Kazuki is going to have more wind, going at 26.2 knots. I saw for a minute over there as he tacked. That's 1.5 knot faster than Pablo Baez. As we see FC Rich tacking just next to Pablo Baez. Kazuki maintaining his lead. Von Pigeon is in the mix as well, arriving just underneath Pablo Baez and FC Rich in 4th. And looks like it is closer with the boats behind. Kazuki starting that mark rounding and heading into that downwind, followed by FC Rich, Pablo Baez, and no one decided to take the right mark. Von Pigeon still following them. A bit of a gap, but if one of them takes the penalty, then Von Pigeon will definitely overtake. As we see Hawkeye and Amorica 1 taking a penalty at the mark rounding over here. Meanwhile, at the front, still clean sailing from Kazuki, FC Rich, and Pablo Baez. Not much fight, not much they can do to each other. They're quite spaced out, and the wind shadow isn't that affected with the with the F50. And since it's going faster than the wind, since it's a foiling boat, the wind shadow is actually going to be behind the boat. So in the downwind, you have an advantage being in front. Kazuki starting his last upwind of this second race. FC Rich still following Pablo Baez as well. They all decided to use the same gate. As Julie Fra takes that mark rounding as well. And we see another penalty by Amorica 1 over here. That was a 10. That means that he refused to give the right of way to one of the boats arriving on starboard. That's the normal rule in sailing. When you have one boat on starboard and one boat on port tack, then the one on starboard tack has the right of way, and the one on port tack has to let them pass by either ducking beneath them or attacking before they cross paths. Meanwhile, up in front, Kazuki still in the lead, tacking over that lane line. Pablo Baez is soon gonna reach. He decides to actually tack now. That means that when arriving on the gate, he will be on port tack. And that might help out Von Pigeon. Pablo Baez ducks under. There's another tack over here to round the mark, and it's going to be pretty straightforward for the finish. Kazuki is going to take first place. FC Rich is going to take second. Von Pigeon third. Pablo Baez fourth. That was some great sailing by the two Japanese, Kazuki and FC Rich, from the start, taking the lead and keeping it. Meanwhile, for fifth, it looks like it's going to be Julie Fra, followed by Alcalea. And then, well, Yuko, Breast Power, Hawkeye, Sweet Sailor, and Amorica 1. And there we have the final ranking for race number 2. FSC Kazuki in first, FC Rich in second, Von Pigeon in third, Pablo Baez in fourth, Julie Fra in fifth, Alcalea in sixth, Yuko in 7, Breast Power in 8. 9 goes to Sweet Sailor, and then it's going to be 9 goes to Hawkeye, 10 for Sweet Sailor, and 11 for Amorica 1. Von Pigeon takes first place with 5 points. Then we have a tie between Alcalea and FSC Kazuki, and we have actually a perfect tie. 7 point each arriving in first and sixth in their 2 races. So I believe the tiebreak in that case should actually go to Kazuki. Pablo Baez is also tied with them at 7th place, but having arrived 3rd and 4th, he is the last in this tiebreak. FC Rich with 9 points in 5th, Julie Fra in 6th with 10 points, 13 points for Hawkeye in 7th, Breast Power the French in 16 points. In 8th, Yuko has 18 points in 9th, Amorica 1 20 points, tied with Sweet Sailor for 10th and 11th. Players are in, and start signal has been given for race number 3. It's going to be 27 knots average wind in this race in Rio, in Brazil. Let's see if that favors another sailor. So same strategy, gonna start far from the start line. You're gonna pick up the speed and try to time it correctly, because you do not want to have a false start. With the F50. 10 seconds to go now. Boats are picking up speed. Watch out not to cross the start line too early. And we had a great start from Yuko over here. All the other boats might have started slightly too early and had to steer towards the right to not cut the line in front. But looks like Julifra is picking up speed and is gonna try to take that second place from Alcalea, who takes the penalty from Julifra. That's gonna profit for FSC Kazuki and FC Rich. Japanese players performing very well tonight. And Von Pigeon, first overall, is currently 11th. As Julifra takes a penalty here, 31 touching the mark. That's unfortunate. Gonna give him a 10-second slowdown, and that allows actually Breast Power Hawkeye to pass in front. Breast Power coming in here from starboard, so he has the right of way. You'll have to avoid him. That's exactly what Julifra and FC Rich did. So Yuko over here has about 25 knots of wind, going at 27.4. If we go to Pablo Baez over there, he's going at 26 knots of wind. Sorry, of speed. 27 knots of picking up speed. And Yuko manages to maintain his lead. That penalty from Julifra definitely helped him put a small gap between him and the pursuing fleet, pursuing boats, as currently FC Rich is second for the second time in a row. What is happening with Von Pigeon? Currently he managed to take a place from Alcalá, dropping out of that 11 into the top 10. He currently is our first overall with 5 points after 2 races. And he's managing to get a couple of places up as well over here. Meanwhile, Hawkeye third behind Yuko and FC Rich. I don't see that moving. They're quite far apart from each other, unless someone touches a mark or something. Here's me jinxing it. We're gonna keep that order. Julifra also has a lead on Pablo Baez, so that 5th spot position is the one that's actually gonna probably have more shuffled. So Yuko decided to stay towards the center of the course. FC Rich and Hawkeye decided to go all the way on the right. Try to reach that gate in one tack. And you can see the ley lines refusing him that with the wind shift over here. The left wind shift. And Hawkeye had the same thing over here. Julifra just underneath them. Pablo Baez looks like he gained some meters on Julifra. Still in 5th. Yuko is starting to round this mark to finish race number 3. Having missed the first race, he's going to want more performances like this to get into that top 4. But FC Rich still in second, Hawkeye still in third. Julie Fra still in fourth, and Pablo Baez still in fifth. Meanwhile, first sixth looks like Sweet Sailor is going to fight it with FSC Kazuki. And Kazuki might have taken the lead over here. Behind them, Armorga 1 is chasing Von Pigeon. And Alkalea is chasing them very close to Armorga 1, but I believe Armorga 1 is going to have it, with Breast Power closing the march. And there we have the ranking for race number 2. Yuko in first, FC Rich in second, Hawkeye in third, Julie Fra in fourth, Pablo Baez in fifth, FSC Kazuki in sixth, Sweet Sailor in seventh, Von Pigeon in eighth, Merker 1 in 9, Alkalea in 10. And then it's going to be Breast Power in 11. And there we have it. FC Rich takes first place with 11 points. Pablo Baez takes second with 12 points, and then we have a tie between Kazuki and Von Pigeon. 13 points. Tiebreak goes in favor of Kazuki for arriving first in one of the races. And these are the top 4. Julie Fra is very close of the top 4 with just 1 point behind in 5th. Hawkeye is still also quite close in 6th with 16 points. Alkalea in 7th, 17 points. 19 points for Yuko. 27 points tie between Sweet Sailor and Breast Power. 29 points for Merca 1. And all sailors are in, so we're going to give the start signal for the last race before the medal race. Again, FC Rich currently leads the fleet with 11 points. Close behind him is Pablo Baez with 12 points. Then it's going to be a tie between FSC Kazuki and Von Pigeon with 13 points. So there's just a 2-point difference between first and fourth to be in the medal race. And then the fifth is very close again behind with 14 points. Hawkeye is also very close with 16 points. Alkalea 17. So basically up to Yuko with 19 points. It's more or less up for grabs for anyone to reach that top 4. And then the medal race is going to count double. Meaning that if you arrive first, you get 2 points, second gets 4, third gets 6, and so on. Same start as usual, around the 22nd. Players are going to line at the end of the start zone. And now starting to pick up some speed. We're currently watching Von Pigeon in the red boat. Decent start from him. Pablo Baez was slightly ahead. Pablo Baez currently second overall with 12 points. And Breast Power did a very good start as well. Pablo Baez rounding the mark first, followed by Breast Power, Hawkeye, and Julie Fra. Yuko unfortunately took a penalty at the mark rounding. And FC Rich, our overall leader so far, is 7th. I see quite some penalties here. Pablo Baez with an 18, Breast Power with an 18, and Yuko with a 31, so touching the mark. Not a great start for him. Kazuki, currently 3rd overall, is 10th. So depending on how the end of the race plays out, this can actually shuffle by quite a bit, because Hawkeye currently leads 16 points, is 6th. But we still do have FC Rich and Pablo Baez in the 2nd and 4th. But Kazuki towards the back of the fleet and Von Pigeon towards the middle can change things. As we see on Marker 1 here taking a penalty with 10 again, refusing to give the right of way to the boat on starboard. let's get focus on FC Rich, Hawkeye, and Gilifra very close to each other. Looks like Hawkeye put like around 80 meters on the second, which is not that much with the F50 because 80 meters are traveled very fast with the F50. It's a very fast boat. Well, you can see them currently going at 43 knots above. Meanwhile, Breast Power behind just got out of his penalty, likely 18 at the mark rounding. Alcalea is also quite close to that top 3 as well. So a wrong shift or a penalty could actually completely change that top 4 that we're currently seeing with Hawkeye, Gilifra, FC Rich, and Alcalea. So Hawkeye decided to go on the right, FC Rich on the left. But FC Rich is going to have to tack soon. So if he crosses path with Hawkeye, he's going to have to duck under and let him pass. But looks like he won't need to worry about that because Hawkeye does still have a lead on him. Sweet Sailor in the mix as well in the top 3. Currently tied with Breast Power at 27 points, so he's going to break that tie with this race over here. Hawkeye still in the lead, no one really to threaten him. So it's all about sailing nicely. FC Rich still in second, no real threats for him either. Then Gilifra and Alcalea are close, but with half a downwind left. And the advantage going to Gilifra just being in front of Alcalea, so he can put him in his wind shadow. I don't think that's going to change anything. As Hawkeye goes towards the finish line, FC Rich is going to take second, Gilifra is going to take third, Alcalea is going to go fourth, with Sweet Sailor in fifth. It looks like we're going to have a closer finish here over here between Breast Power, Pablo Baz, FSA Kazuki. Von Pigeon, our overall leader, arriving in 11th. That's going to hurt. Or is indeed FC Rich, Hawkeye, Gilifra, and Pablo Baz with some very tight scores. So it's a 4-point difference between FC Rich and Hawkeye, but again, it's 2 times points, so it can still happen. Then we have a tie between Hawkeye and Gilifra with 17 points, and just 1 point behind is going to be Pablo Baz. So a very tight finish. Anyone can have it. Well, I believe so. If Hawkeye, for example, arrives first, that's going to put him to 19 points. And if FC Rich arrives last, so that's going to be 8 points. That's going to put him at 21 points. So we still don't have a winner. I'm going to ask the chat, who you think is winning this medal race, or who do you think is winning the event? And there we have it. Start procedure has been given. So just these 4 boats, 2 times points, and the winner is going to go to the grand final of the K Championship in December, around mid-December, to win the bigger prizes. Again, asking to the chat who wins the event. Boats are picking up speed. 5 seconds to go. Do not cross that start line too early. We see very close penalties. Hawkeye unfortunately did a false start. FC Rich takes the lead. And that was almost a catastrophic start for all of the players. But the boats are, well, the boats are still fairly close, so it's not decided yet. FC Rich is going to have the advantage, having rounded that bottom gate first. It's going to take a lot from the other players to put him behind. Because I think if anyone else wins, well, if they want anyone else beside FC Rich to win, I think FC Rich has to finish last. Because otherwise it can be a tie. And with the tie, actually, will go in favor of the one finishing first. So FC Rich needs to finish third or fourth. So it's a pretty comfortable spot for FC Rich. He just needs to defend his position. And even if he arrives seconds, I believe he's still safe. Well, he's definitely safe if he arrives seconds, because that's put him at plus 4 points, so 17. And so, well, FC Rich is just putting a bigger lead again on these players. 300-meter lead from FC Rich on Julifa, Pablo Baez, and Hawkeye. So now I guess it's more about honor. Between Julifa and Pablo Baez, who is most likely to take second and third. Pablo Baez deciding to go on the left alone. Everyone else decided to go on the right. We will see if that pays off. He's going at 27.6. FC Rich has just tack and is slowly building up his speed again, but now Pablo Baez is going out of the wind pressure while the others are entering it. And he's going to have to duck down and let Julifa pass in front of him, tacking it now. And looks like it's going to be one clean race for FC Rich. Julifa is going to pass in front of Pablo Baez over here, likely keeping his second place. And will Hawkeye manage to take third from Pablo Baez, or is he going to remain in fourth? That was a very unfortunate start by him. Looks like the order is not going to change. Pablo Baez is going to keep his third, and Hawkeye the fourth. Well, there we have confirmation of the score. FC Rich arriving almost 9 seconds before second. Julie Fra in second, Pablo Baez in third, and Hawkeye in fourth. And well, there you go. You can see them. FC Rich wins the event with 15 points. FC Rich from Japan, arriving second, 3 times second in 4 races, and then arriving first in the medal race. Then it's going to be the French Julie Fra, 21 points. Then the Spanish Pablo Baez in third with 24 points, 25 points for Hawkeye. In fourth, unfortunate for that start, but he'll get it next time. Well done to FC Rich for winning the knockout 4 in the K Championship by K Challenge, so he is qualifying for the grand final in December. And well, speaking of K Championship by K Challenge, we're going to have K Challenge 5 and the Flying 75 starting on Monday at midnight UTC. It's going to be 3 days of Flying 75 racing, and again, it's going to be the same format. Top 12 are invited to Knockout 5, and the winner of that Knockout 5 will get its place, or his place or her place, in the grand final in December. But I guess it's time for me to wrap it up. Again, big congratulations to FC Rich. Very well raced tonight. I mean, yeah, second place in 3 races. First in the medal race, we just had the first hiccup in the first race. We'll put that on the just waking up in the morning early at 5 a.m. for Japan. And well, yep, this has been Oscar, your host. We'll see you all tomorrow for the Eastlink World Championship playoff number 2 at 20 UTC. So tune on in for that. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.